In this video, we're going to look at how the generate script is used to generate controller files for our Ruby on Rails web application. Let's go over to the text editor and take a look. We currently have two controller files in our application, our cookbook application. We have the recipe controller and we have a general application controller. In our database, we actually had another table in there called category, so we could create a category controller if we want, if we were going to have direct access in there. But I'd actually like to create a login controller that would control logins into this application. So I'm going to switch over to the terminal so I can generate this controller from the generate script. So we'll do script generate, and I'm going to issue the command controller, but I'm not going to give it a name right now, so we can go ahead and take a look at the help file for this to let us know what we're doing. And again, we have the typical general options that have been discussed in prior videos. The description of what the controller generator does is it creates stubs for a new controller and its views. So it'll actually create this controller file and some view files and some of the folders if they don't already exist. The name of the controller should be given in camel case or underscore, but it shouldn't use controller in the name anywhere. It'll add that, as in the case of recipe underscore controller. We didn't put the underscore controller there. The generate script did that for us, so that's why it cautions you not to do that. The generator also creates the view templates in the views folder with the folder name of the subfolder of the view folder called controller underscore name. So in our case, if I click over here to my text editor and browse in here, you'll see there's recipe, and that's my view templates underneath it there. Let's switch back over to our terminal for a second, and then it gives us an example script of generating a controller called credit card, and after that are some methods that it'll create and stub out for us inside this controller class. So if you know some of the methods that you already want to deal with, you can go ahead and throw them in there, and this script will stub them out for you. This will also create some modules for you if you wish. That a module is actually where you have a controller that's underneath or grouped together in a particular fashion, and it has to do with how URLs are set up. So let's go ahead and issue that generate controller, but instead I'm going to go ahead and give it login, and again it's a class, so I want to start with that L, capital L. That's going to be the name of the class. The generate script will take care of naming the actual file login underscore controller. Let's give it some methods of add user, login, logout, complete user, and list users. And I'll go ahead and execute that, and you can see it created one folder here that didn't exist, the view folder. These other folders already existed. It created my login controller RB. It created some test files for me. It created a stub.helper file, and then it created all these views which correspond to my methods that I have. So I have an application, at least stubbed out portion of it, where I just need to add the code to the application. If I switch over here, let's take a look at what's generated. And when I use the word stubbed out with regards to the methods, you can see here it puts the method, defines it, but there's no code in there because obviously the generate script doesn't know what you want to do with your application, but at least it's got the structure started for you. If we go over to our views folder and look in this login folder, we can see that we have some views set up for us or stubbed out, so we can get started with looking at what those look like. So our generate script created the basic framework for this particular controller for us to populate with our own code to do what we wish.